All right, GM, everyone. Welcome in to week 13. One of the weeks of all time here in daily fantasy sports. We have got boy, do we have some games. San Francisco, Cleveland, 35.5 point total, all the way down. Jacksonville, Tennessee, 41.5 point total. Arizona, Tampa Bay, probably the game of the day, honestly. In my opinion, I think that one is going to be the football game of the day. Two relatively pass funnel defenses. I mean, Tampa Bay is a super pass funnel defense. New Orleans and Miami, that might be, honestly, maybe that is the game of the day. Houston, Indianapolis. Houston, very, very good defense, 44.5 point total. The Colts, much better defense. That's probably one of the most interesting things about this slate is, after watching the Colts defense play against the Chiefs, I have, and maybe this is just me, but I have like a pretty strong opinion the Colts defense is going to be very, very good. Man to man. I think they're both going to be. I think Nico Collins might have a little bit of a hard time in that matchup. The Atlanta Falcons traveling to play at the New York Jets, a 38-point total that I have a gold star play in that game. The Los Angeles Rams against the Carolina Panthers. Oof. If we had Bryce Young in that spot with the 440-yard passing game, that would probably be the game of the day. Then we have Minnesota and Seattle. Max Brosmer been doing a lot of thinking about our boy Max Brosmer this week. Buffalo, Pittsburgh. Both of Josh Allen's tackles are out against the Steelers, and then the Las Vegas Raiders and the Los Angeles Chargers, 40.5. I like that game quite a bit too. And obviously, because of the Thanksgiving stuff, I am like in a different headspace. I haven't been thinking about just this slate for weeks. Yes, I agree. Max Brosmer not being on the underdog slate also bummed me out a little bit. By the way, if you were late to the underdog stuff this week, they still have some stuff out there. So they did the mini royale this week, which is $10 to enter. They have the goal line stand, which is 12 persons. We've got the deposit kingdom league to fill. And we'll go over and go do a tiers contest a little bit later as well. But I want to start by run the Sims over on DraftKings. And I want to do, because I'm not in a ton of contests today, and I actually did register for a contest on FanDuel, so we're going to run both. But the first thing I want to do, I just want to start running the Sims and saying, who's the computer we like? Any big ownership changes since thinking about tilting, which that is a great name. Run Good Rick. I've never thought of calling it that, but that is a phenomenal name. I guess the biggest thing as it pertains to ownership is Amarian Hampton is for sure out. And so with Amarian Hampton being out 100%, then we definitely know that Kamani Vidal is going to be super chalk on this slate. Other stuff we have to talk about. I got no idea what I want to do in cash. This is what I have saved in cash right now. I just put Brosmer in, like, basically for the meme. Brosmer, Bijan, A-Chain, Puka, Alec Pierce, Adonai Mitchell, Gadsden, Ken Walker. I mean, that's not even close to what I'll actually play. That is literally just my placeholder. Then I think we have a red zone team to do, a spy team to do, and then I did register for the $12 single entry contest because I want to play one Brosmer team. A new member, Kegro9204 with the GM to you, Kegro. I hope you had a great Thanksgiving, and I hope you can tell me the answers to the test, because I'm trying to figure out the answers to the test myself. What do you guys think about Josh Allen on this slate? I think Josh Allen is the only quarterback projected median projection above 20 points. Yeah. I guess Herbert, depending on which projection set you're using. The other big thing today, though, that we have to be aware of is the weather. So let's pull up the good old Roth weather report. So here we go. San Francisco and Cleveland. The good news here is that we're dry, but the news is that the sustained winds are going to be 25 to 35 miles an hour. For the Rams and the Panthers, light rain. Doesn't look like a washout. Winds stay light. For Atlanta and the New York Jets, a steady light rain early and likely in the kickoff. The rain should clear a bit. Then another round is happening in the game. Wet, but quote, not a true downpour. New Orleans and Miami, a shower or spotty downpour. Coverage isn't all that impressive. Pretty typical Florida stuff. Then we have Buffalo and Pittsburgh. Rain during the game. Over 15-mile-an-hour winds. I would honestly feel like a lot of this weather is going to seem like it was on that Black Friday game, where both of the teams clearly had trouble throwing the ball in that game. I know A.J. Brown ended up with a big game, but in the end, the weather in that Chicago-Philadelphia game was tough. With a shorter slate, it feels like stars and scrubs. I'm tending to agree with that. I'm looking at a lot of shitters this week. Yes, the Bills are missing both their left and right tackles in this game. All right, here we go. First run of Sims done. And the top team has Taysom Hill on it. I mean, have you ever seen anything so beautiful in your life? Top team, Sam Darnold, Breece Hall, Devin Achane, Rashid Shaheed, JSN, Alec Iomanner, Taysom Hill, Bowers in the flex, and the Rams defense is the top sim ROI team. Let's go look at the optimal rates. So optimal rates at the quarterback position, that is really high ownership on Justin Herbert, then followed by Darnold, then Allen. Stroud is the one that doesn't make a ton of sense to me. That I don't view, I guess maybe it's just like a context of the slate thing. But me personally, I am not rushing to play CJ Stroud in this slate. Lawrence is more interesting to me. Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr. You could definitely do a bring back, right? You could do, who would your prefer? I guess probably DK. Yeah, DK or Iomanner. Brissett, I mean, obviously for like the 900th week in a row, Jacoby Brissett looks phenomenal. Is that ownership actually going to be right? What is the Jacoby Brissett ownership going to be? That ownership I think is wrong. When I run this again, I'm going to run Jacoby a little bit higher. Stafford at 7,000, that's low. I've seen this a ton. This is not just a run the Sims thing. The ETR projections are pretty high on Tyler Shuck. Tua Tagovailoa is 4,900 DraftKings dollars. And how about dimes? How about dimes Pierce, dimes Warren, dimes Pittman? I know that he's playing with that fractured fibula. How about that for a report? Fractured fibula for Daniel Jones. But I'm kind of into Daniel Jones. Basically, what I'm saying is, normally I come into a slate, I come hang out with you guys, sit down on a Sunday morning, and I'm like, all right, man, I know what I want to do here at quarterback. I know I don't really know. I'm kind of waiting for something in the data to leap out at me. Tyler wants me to look at the Sims without a tight end in the flex, which I agree. So there we go. Without a tight end in the flex, some of our highest ROI stuff. I mean, we do have another Darnold in here. We have a Tyrod, Mechie, and AD Mitchell team. Feels about right. I like this team. This Darnold, Marks, Brees. I would not play Cooper Kupp. I would play Shaheed, JSN, Ladd, Juwan, Genty, and the Titans defense. I kind of like that team too. Yeah, I just barely got in my 150 in the BR over on Underdog. 158 drafts completed. Let's check my exposures. Let's see if sometimes the exposures don't load right in the morning. GM, GL to you, Chad, as well. DK, yes, I actually completely agree with this. DK is totally the play that ends up being like giga chalk out of nowhere. So it looks like I drafted a ton of Trey McBride, a ton of Bowers, ton of A-Chain, a lot of ETN. I really like ETN today. A lot of Adams. A lot of Stafford, a lot of Jacoby, a lot of Marvin Harrison Jr. Big on Marvin Harrison Jr. today, just for ownership stuff. All right. Well, should we go? Let's finish running through the optimal rate stuff over here. Man, but just look at all these disgusting quarterbacks in here. You've got Shuck in there, you've got Tua in there, you've got Stroud, you've got a lot of Sam Darnold. These Mayfield teams maybe are kind of interesting. I don't think I'm gonna be that hot on Io Manor. I think I know that my boy Rick is correct and that DK is going to end up being like massively owned, but I still think I'd rather play DK than Io Manor. Well, let's go look at the routes. Honestly, like I really have not been thinking about Alec Io Manor. Let's go find her. Oh, I gotta log back in. Because DK also, it feels like he also just scores like a punt return touchdown every week. Devin Neal or Bam Knight, FanDuel GPP. I kind of like Devin Neal today because if I'm wrong about this Taysom role, then Devin Neal is about to get 27 touches. Now, I don't know if I will be wrong about that role, but he clearly has the ability to like Devin Neal could see the most touches of any player of the slate. I don't think it's likely, but they're not going to play any other guy, right? They're like who I guess is it Audric Estime is their other running back? I actually do not know the answer to this question. The second and third running back for the New Orleans Saints are Audric Estime and Evan Hull. Remember Evan Hull? All right, so most recent 2 weeks, Io Manor has been at 84% of the routes, 14% of the targets. Wow, Xavier Restrepo in there. And then last week, so in week 12, did Io Manor not play? I guess Io Manor must have been injured last week, right? That's something that did completely passed me by. Yeah, there you go. He missed last week with a hamstring injury. Who knew? I mean, probably a lot of you guys knew. I did not know. I had no idea. All right, DK Jefferson. So DK is going to be a full-time guy regardless, but something to learn there. Season-long PPR flex, Alec Pierce, Debo, or Bam Knight. So in that scenario, in season-long, I think you're going Knight. Because Knight is going to get his 13 touches, decent chance for a touchdown or whatever. All right, let's go look at the optimal rates for the running backs. A-Chain, I mean, he's the best running back play by like a mile. I know that Kegro just said it's going to be a big James Cook day. I think I'm inclined to agree that it is going to be a big James Cook day. Jonathan Taylor at 9,800. He is a positive optimal leverage play. I don't think I'm loving that. Genti, I do really like. Kyron, I do not like. Vidal, I really like. Brees, I do not, particularly if that ownership is right. If Brees is the second or third most owned running back of the slate, no way. ETN, I like more. McCaffrey is kind of sneaky. Does any of that stuff even matter to Christian McCaffrey? Can't Christian McCaffrey catch 10 passes in a monsoon? Start 2, half PPR. Woody Marks, Devin Neal, Chris Rodriguez, or Fannin. I think you are going Woody, Marks, and Neal. I like Marks a good bit. Walker as a negative leverage play, but I still really like him. Dowdle I like. Marks I like. Warren I do not like. I think we're going to get a heaping helping of Kenneth Gainwell today. Neal as a negative leverage play. Knight as a positive leverage play. All right. Michael in cash has Brisket, A-Chain, ETN, Michael Wilson, Keenan Allen, Duke, DK, I think, Bowers, Brees Hall, and the Titans. That is not what I'm going to play in cash, but I don't really know what I'm going to do. I guess this is where I would realistically be in cash right now. Is I would do Jacoby, I would do A-Chain, I would do Walker, I would do Jaden Higgins. I would do Emeka Egbuka. Then I'm going to put Aronde Gadsden in. I'm also going to play the Titans defense. And then I think it's you have to do 2 tight ends to do this. Yeah. If you play Puka, you got to do 2 tight ends. My boy Jam to Win made a pretty strong case for Warren matching up well against what the Bills do. I like that. I liked what Jam had to say because I think it's clearly true. The Bills have this like really brutal run defense, like legitimately bad run defense, and Warren is a much better in between the tackles runner. But if he's getting 19 rushes but all the passing down work is going to Gainwell, do we even want Warren in that scenario? I wonder if Devin Neal maybe is a play. Any Judkins love across from CMC? If I was gonna play Judkins, I don't know the prices, but I would probably be much more likely to play him. Let's look. What does Judkins cost on FanDuel? Judkins costs $7,800 on FanDuel. $7,800. Probably not. Probably no Judkins love for me. Let's just put in Devin Neal. Is this a late slate game? No, it's not. Are any of these late? Yeah, okay. Walker is late. So let's put in Neal. Let's put in Kenneth Walker. And then is there anywhere to save? Yeah, you got to play Trevor Lawrence. There you go. I'm going to save this in cash right now. Lawrence, H.A., Neal, Higgins, Igbuka, Puka, Gadsden, Walker, and the Titans. And then I'm going to come back to that. The reason why I started early today is I got to finish early today. So I'm probably going to leave here about 11:45 Central Time. All right. Let's go back to the Sims. I've not looked at the wide receivers since Friday. My write-up on the Patreon was a little bit late because every time I came to sit down and write on this slate, I was like, dude, this is horrible. Like I would come down to be like, all right, man, I'm gonna for all my boys over at patreon.com/DavisMattock, I'm gonna run the Sims. We're gonna figure out what all the good plays are, and then I would come to figure out what the good plays were, and there weren't any. Like look at these wide receiver optimal rates. I mean, this is miserable. Alec Pierce is showing up. What is that about, dude? What are we doing with Alec Pierce on here? Devin Neal 10 target game. Let's go look at the Devin Neal. No, dude, Adonai Mitchell, Tim. Adonai Mitchell. That's my gold star play this slate. Adonai Mitchell is I think pretty sneaky. But let's go look at the Neal usage from last week. Because I mean, I don't think Estimate even got in the game. Yeah. 73% of the snaps, 28% of the team's rush attempts, because Taysom Hill got all the rushes, 18% of the targets for Devin Neal. Yeah, Devin Neal, 69% of the routes. Neal probably is a play on DraftKings. Which doesn't feel great, but whatever. All right. Clearly you want to get a ton of JSN in. JSN, highest optimal rate wide receiver by 10%, followed by Waddle, followed by Puka. Nico, I do like Igbuka more than Nico. I don't love Tet in this spot. I think that Emmanuel Forbes is been playing so well. The Rams defense is crazy. Olave I don't love. Metcalf I do not love. Adams is whatever. Pierce I do not love as chalk. Shakir I hate as chalk. Marvin Harrison Jr. I really like. What if Jacoby Brissett makes Marvin Harrison Jr. a thing? Gadsden and Neal or Pitts and Vidal. I got Pitts and Vidal. I really like Vidal today. Adonai Mitchell feels like he got SC clip cursed without there even being a clip. Artillery Frost, that is very funny. That is insanely funny. I'm gonna, you know what? I'm actually gonna put that in our ship chasing group chat because that's very funny. Is Bucks D to Galbrained at 3,200? I don't think it's Galbrained at all, Chad. So I'd look at and I'd say, what do you think the odds are that the Buccaneers defense ends up scoring more raw points than one of these teams like playing in the slush? I just basically at the end of the day, man, they are going to face like a bazillion pass attempts against Jacoby. But I don't think that you're gaining a ton of leverage against the field with the Buccaneers because you could make an argument that Jacoby Brissett is in the band of quarterbacks like Jameis Winston, where it's actually good for him to throw an interception. Like Jacoby Brissett throws an interception in the first quarter, and that improves his fantasy point projection. Quinshon Judkins today. I mean, I think Judkins is totally fine. It's hard for me to tell you guys that any of these picks are bad because who cares? Like, look how flat all the projections are. Let's go to the classic Slate opto and run some optos. But I just want you guys to look at how flat just like the straight up raw projections are. So quarterback, after Allen and Herbert, you've got Jacoby at 19. Then from Jacoby all the way down to Sam Darnold, you have 2 points of difference. At running back, after the big guys, you've got from Genty all the way down to Devin Neal. There's a 4-point difference. And then at wide receiver, from Waddle down to DK Metcalf, you have a 3-point difference. At tight end, you've got McBride and Bowers in their own category. Then you've got a bunch of guys between 12 and 8. Like it's just all the same. Does Brosmer revive Hawkinson? No. I don't know if like Peyton Manning would revive Hawkinson at this point. They're playing like Josh Oliver over him and stuff. I haven't even run the run the Sims opto. Stroud, A-Chain, Genty, JSN, Pierce, Mitchell, Bowers, Gadsden. I need to set these lineups without a tight end in the flex. Yeah, there we go. I am just curious. Stroud, Achan, Walker, JSN, Higgins, Mitchell, Bowers. So looks like the run the Sims projections are a little bit hot on the Raiders compared to ETR. So that's like a minor difference. If I nuked the Bowers stuff, like here, let me go exclude Genty and exclude Bowers. Because yeah, what? Run the Sims has Bowers for 16, and yeah, and ETR has him for 15. I low key like the Jets DST today. Yeah, I don't even know about low key, Tim. I think the Jets are a smash. 0.5 PPR, Fannin, Booty, Henry, or Tootin. It's Henry or Booty. I would say Henry. Yes, Taysom is. I'm all on board with the Taysom stuff today. Taysom, I've got 9% of Taysom on Underdog, which is definitely that's got to be the most I've ever had of Taysom Hill on a BR slate. All right, running this again without the Raiders, and you've got Stroud, Brees, A-Chain, Higgins, JSN, Shakir, Gadsden, Walker, and the Titans. I don't want Khalil Shakir. Interesting to see what Run the Sims is a little bit hotter on than ETR. Stroud, Brees, Achan, Tet, Mitchell. Yeah, so it's the Run the Sims stuff is a lot hotter on JSN than on Puka, which frankly does kind of make sense to me. Let's get back to the optimal rate stuff. Oh, they're updating the projections right now. You know what? Let's build a pick'em entry actually while we're here, and let's do it with a Taysom anytime touchdown or Rooney. That's obviously where we got to start. Yeah, no, there was never a world where Taysom is not scoring a touchdown against the Miami Dolphins. That was always happening. Wow, Liverpool actually did score a goal. Shout out to them. My team is still drawing with Wolverhampton Wanderers, and Maxime de Kuiper scored for Brighton and Hove Albion. Not taking anything from San Francisco, Cleveland. What do we have for Jaden Higgins in this spot? Jaden Higgins for 36.5 receiving yards. What do we think? I think we take the higher there. Jaden Higgins, 36.5 receiving yards. Don't really want to do anything from Rams Panthers. ETN rush yards. I think I like ETN rush yards. Yeah, let's do that. Do we want to do anything else? Is anything else appealing? New Orleans, Miami, not really. Arizona, Tampa Bay. I mean, we could do we'll do Marv receiving yards. Ooh, it's Bo Jackson's birthday. Don't know what that means for Genty. Needs a long touchdown. Home league PPR, Taysom, Waller, or Theo. Think we're going Waller there. Wow, I went to the Liverpool last game. Ooh. If you're a Liverpool fan, Nick, that probably was not the game you wanted to go to. Was it 4-1? Not great, brother. But sick you got to go. Yeah, only 39.5 receiving yards for CMC. That's probably a higher. And then let's do a fifth Legarino here. We'll go Adonai Mitchell. We're going to take Adonai Mitchell higher than 2.5 receptions. We're going to place $10 on that. And I'm going to share that with all of you guys. And I'm actually going to put that in my IRL buddies group chat. And I think I'm going to tweet this one because I feel good about this one. I like it. Taysom Hill, touchdown. Jaden Higgins, higher receiving yards. ETN, higher rush yards. Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's have ourselves a nice little Sunday morning. Bang. Wow, Taysom Hill touchdown on non-site credits. You love to see it. I actually had to deposit for all these playoff best ball contests that are coming up. Okay. Back to the Sim Runner. Slate's, DraftKings, and then you click Sim Runner Pro. And then it should bring me back to the sim I've already ran. Oh, did I make it run again? We were visiting Ireland and Scotland, and my buddy, who's a huge fan, had going to a game on his bucket list. Brutal that we grabbed a drink at half, and by the time we got that is brutal. That's very cool though. Did you Nick, are you a golfer, bro? That's one of my bucket list things is golfing in Ireland and Scotland. All right. Sim build 1. No tight end in the flex. All right. Man, I don't know. Let's actually just go back to our roots and let's start with a little hand build and not even put a quarterback in, and we're going to work backwards in the spy. So plays I know I want in a spy. I definitely want Achan, and I definitely want, is Vidal a late game? Okay, Vidal. I know I definitely want Vidal. I do think I want to play Taysom. We'll come back to that. Let's put in Marvin Harrison Jr. Let's put in Adonai Mitchell. Let's go to defense and let's put in the Tennessee Titans. Yeah, I do want to get killed on the links. Not that I expect myself to play that well, but I do definitely want to do it. We planned the trip 4 weeks before, so nowhere we wanted to go ahead tee times. Yeah, isn't there some of the places where you can just wait out, like how Bethpage Black works, where you can literally just sit out and wait the night before? Okay. I would say these are really all my want plays. That leaves us with 6,000 left. So if we do Jacoby, can we play Bowers at tight end. You can play Bowers at tight end. Choose to Bucky, Woody Marks, Michael Wilson. I think that's definitely Bucky Irving and Woody Marks. I know that Michael Wilson is like the new Randy Moss, but I do think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be ahead of him today. I do. That is my sincere belief. All right. So if we do Igbuka, what does that leave us at running back? Brees, Marks, Tucker. Could do Walker. Go up from Igbuka to Adams. Oh no, just short. Go up from the Titans to the Browns could be kind of fun. Dude, Chad, I think you just talked me into it. I think Chad just talked me into playing Taysom and the Spy. Yeah, you know what? Honestly, this is a good comp, Rick. Michael Wilson is the wide receiver of Rico's. I think that is like actually a great way to think about it, where he had that huge explosion, but that ends up not exploding in the end. The only thing about this team is I wonder if this is not stacking Brissett enough. Like it honestly, it might not be stacking Brissett quite enough. Like, is that going to, are you going to get high sim ROI teams without him? Taysom could score 20 points or 2 points. Either is just as likely, which is like kind of what you want, right? I mean, that is kind of what you want in your tournament teams. I would say to some degree. Like at the end of the day, because we don't care about the time he gets. We don't care about the time he gets 20. We care much more about the time that he gets, or we don't care about the time he gets 2. We care about how often we roster him when he scores 20. Hit the like. Yeah, hit the like so I don't have to work at State Farm. We haven't done that bit in a while, but let me tell you, State Farm is always lurking around the corner. All right, Achane, Walker, Vidal, which I think is a quite a good group. Let's put Taysom in there. Do we think, is the Browns defense even good? It does feel like a pretty good spot for them. Purdy playing with the turf toe. JSN is obviously a smash at wide receiver. I bet the computer probably doesn't love Marvin Harrison Jr. or Adonai Mitchell, but I really like Marvin Harrison Jr. and Adonai Mitchell, so I might have to really search for a way to get runthesims.com to tell me Marvin Harrison Jr. is a good play. Let's see. Let's go Jacoby. Include all Jacoby and Marvin Harrison Jr. Hey, top 1 has Mechie and Bowers. Jacoby, Brees, Achane, Marvin Harrison Jr., Mechie. Ooh, I don't want Michael Wilson. Yeah, that was my thought, is that it's going to have a hard time. Yeah, but Vidal probably is going to be pretty chalk, which I guess I should have thought a little bit more about. And Jacoby might be too owned. Ooh, you know what? Here's a way around that. You do ETN, and we go back to the Titans. If you do ETN and go back to the Titans, does that work? Do we like that? Because ETN, I think, is kind of ETN is a little bit of a secret play today, I feel. And the Titans defense, I do like. Who is the highest projection of the Chargers pass catchers? I mean, it's for sure going to be, it's going to be Ladd McConkey by like a lot. There you go. Ladd for 15. Keenan for 10.9. QJ for 10 flat. No, I like Devin Neal because I think at the very least, Devin Neal is going to be a pretty solid pass catcher. He'll catch like 6 dump offs. Doesn't this just feel like the 2-touchdown Kenneth Gainwell game against the Bills? I can't really decide. I keep waffling. I keep waffling on that one. Man, maybe Jacoby is not the move. Like how freaking owned is Jacoby going to be? Because he's probably going to be pretty owned. But Marv is not going to be that owned. Like Marv is going to be like maybe 5%, maybe, and maybe that is even high. Am I crazy on this Marvin Harrison Jr. stuff? Maybe I am. Maybe I'm the one who's wrong. Yeah, Jacoby still has not scored under 20 points, and now it's like this. Look at this matchup, dude, against the Buccaneers. Teams just throw crazy against them. Tampa Bay Buccaneers PFR. All right, so the 2025 Buccaneers. By the way, must-win game for the Buccaneers. So the Buccaneers give up 70 passing yards against the Rams. That's very funny. Or no, they give up 263 passing yards to the Rams, 317 to the Bills, 269 to the Patriots, 227 against the Saints, only 215, but they got smoked by the Lions. Just a huge pass funnel. And their run defense is so good. They are 23rd in most rushing touchdowns allowed, 7th most rushing yards allowed. No, I do. You know what? Let's just go. Let's actually get that one out of the way right now. I'm not going to save what I was just working on there. And let's go build our Brosman. Yeah, Harrison's playing today. Good to go. Got the what is it? The probable tag. He got the P tag. All right, so let's go Brosmer. And we'll go JSN, Jefferson, and then we'll do we want to do Adonai Mitchell on this one? Is there a better punt wide receiver? I don't know if there is. We're going to do Adonai Mitchell. We're going to do Trey well, let's put in a good cheap defense. Let's do whatever. We'll do what's the highest projecting defense? I do really like Kenneth Walker today. Yeah. Really like Kenneth Walker. Everyone really likes Kenneth Walker though. That's the thing. Jaden Higgins is probably better. Yeah, but a much worse individual matchup. All right, let's put in let's put in the 49ers defense here. 49ers will go Achane, we'll go Walker. Kind of need to save some money at tight end, actually. Strange could be good. Schultz could be good. Fannin could be okay. Anyone stacking Tua with Achane and Waddle? No, I like that move today. I like that move today quite a bit. We'll go Taysom Hill, 5,900. Then we're going to go to Walker. Well, probably Vidal, actually. Yeah, we're going to go Vidal. Brosmer, Achane, Walker, JSN, Jefferson, Adonai Mitchell, Taysom Hill, Kamani Vidal, 49ers defense. Send it. Probably would not play Gunnar Helm today. I get why you would. How many times does Judkins line up in the Wildcat today? Probably like 6. Maybe like 4. Okay. That's 2 teams done. Still don't really know what we're doing in cash. We're thinking about it though. There just has to be a good way to play a good Jacoby Brissett, Marvin Harrison Jr. team. Maybe there's not. Let's go let's go back to Slate's DraftKings main. We're gonna I've not tried to do this before. So we'll go settings, team. Okay, I want to do just Jacoby Brissett teams. Considering a Tyrod Mitchell skinny in the spy, completely fine. Oh yeah, Brissett unstacked and cash is totally fine. In fact, I think that's probably what I will play. All right. Number of lineups, the most amount, 10,000. Size of contest field, 3,000. Number of sims, 4,000. Salary range, 49.7. Let's disable that. And we're gonna run the sim again. Very nice technology over at Run the Sims, honestly. I have a very good time playing around with these sims. Mason with Tyrod might be a good cheap tight end. You know what's sick is that because Adonai Mitchell is so good at earning targets, he doesn't catch them, but he's so good at earning targets that Mason Taylor has really fallen down the pecking order for the Jets just because of the presence of Mason Taylor or because of the presence of Adonai Mitchell. Like he earned more targets with Garrett Wilson on the field. Isn't that insane? That's really how good Adonai Mitchell is. So, all right, target share. We've got a 9%. Well, okay, so this is including his cold stuff, but Mason Taylor, 19% target share. Then you filter it by just the weeks that Mitchell has played. Look at this. Just the weeks that Mitchell has played, most recent 2 weeks, you've got Mason Taylor down at an 18% target share. No, I don't think Stroud is a fish playing cash. I'm trying not to do it, but I don't think it's a fish play at all goods. That's what a lot of the optos are giving you right now. I think I'd probably slightly prefer Trevor Lawrence to CJ Stroud. Just ever so slightly. All right, so Adonai Mitchell has how many games has he been? It's just been 2, right? Or has it been multiple? I gotta look this up. Adonai Mitchell has played 2 games for the Jets. Okay, so the most recent 2 games. Let's open it up to the entire National Football League. We'll go all, and I want to sort by targets per route run, and we'll do a minimum of what, like 30 routes. Does Adonai Mitchell? Yeah. So he should pop up in here. Adonai Mitchell, where is he? Mitchell. In the 2, okay, there you go. So in the 2 games that Mitchell has played for the Jets, he is the 19th best targets per route run in the NFL. Better than Diggs, better than CeeDee Lamb, better than Devontae Adams. That is just wild stuff. And Mechie is not nothing either, right? Mechie 20% of targets, 18% targets per route run. All right. I want to see if I can find a Jacoby, Marv, Taysom that I really like. We only got 2. So we have a Jacoby, Bijan, Brees, Puka, Marv. Oh, no, Judy, no fucking chance. It's a lot of tight end in the Flexerino is the issue. Which I get why you'd want to do it. Nate just texted us that he is not going to be able to do the Gilcast tonight. Who should we have on? Maybe Levitan will hop on. Who could say? All right, you could do something like I guess maybe you just play Igbokah. Maybe that's how you do it. Another thing I don't like is it looks like a lot of the optos are going for expensive defense, which I don't love. Oh, you know what? I am gonna ask Dave. I'm gonna ask Dave right now. I'm gonna text him. David Kitchen, do you want to be the third on the Gilcast tonight? GM David, how are you doing, man? I hope you're doing well. People forget that me, Kitchen, and Sammy used to do shows together all the time. Okay, hold on. I think maybe it came to me. I think maybe I've got it. All right. Jacoby. Start with Jacoby. You do Devin A. Chain. You do Kamani Vidal. We do Marvin Harrison Jr. We do Jackson Smith and Jigba. We do Adonai Mitchell. We do Trey McBride. We do Taysom Hill. And we do the Titans defense. So JSN doesn't fit. So you take JSN down to Emeka Igbokah, and you take the Titans defense up to the 49ers. Did I just solve DFS? Jacoby Brissett, Devin Achane, Kamani Vidal, Marvin Harrison Jr., Igbokah, Adonai Mitchell, Trey McBride, Taysom Hill, and the 49ers defense. That's got to be it. Tell me I didn't just solve it. I think I solved it, bros. Am I a fish for loving the Dolphins Saints game? No. I think that game is good. Yes, this is my potential lineup in the spy. Potential. So Vidal, and then do the 49ers, who are projected for 1 billion points on defense. And we've got my boy. So is there maybe you don't have to do Vidal. Maybe that's the secret, is you actually go up from Vidal. Jacoby Brissett, Devin Achane, Kamani Vidal, Marvin Harrison Jr., Igbokah, A.D. Mitchell, Trey McBride, Taysom Hill, and the 49ers defense. I don't know, bro. It's just such a good spot. It's such a good spot. But maybe I do. Maybe you do, instead of 40. So maybe you do ETN and the what? ETN and the Steelers, maybe that's better. Because I do like ETN, because Vidal is probably going to get steamed for sure, and ETN will not be. ETN is going to be 10%, maybe. But yeah, you could do this, or you could still just stone punt. You could play the Jets defense or whatever and save some salary, maybe. Maybe Tim might have hit the nail on the head. No, dude, I think I'm gonna play this team. I think I'm gonna do Jacoby Achane. The Jacoby double, bro. Because McBride's not even gonna be chalk here. Although the last time I was laser focused on Kamani Vidal, it didn't work. Because the last time I was really in on Kamani Vidal, the Chargers lost by like 37 points to the Jaguars. Oh, my son's not having a good time. I think I'm submitting this. Brissett, Achane. No, we're gonna go Vidal. And then we're gonna do the 49ers, Brissett, Achane, Vidal, Marvin Harrison, Igbuka, Adonai Mitchell, Trey McBride, Taysom Hill, and the 49ers. Ooh, it's true. It's an odd numbered week. Yeah, do you guys know this thing about Vidal? It's one of the funniest things I've ever. I think Ryan Heath, who is a great fantasy football analyst, was the first one I saw put this out into the ether. But the odd numbered weeks, so starting in oh no, it's just every other week. So 18 for 124, 9 for 20, 23 for 117 and 1, then 12 for 30, 29 for 95 and 1, bang. Okay. So that's the Jacoby team taken care of. What do I want to do? I kind of like do you guys like a Trevor Lawrence team? I kind of like a Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr. That's the other thing that's really leaping out at me. If you do Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. Ooh, Tyler Warren stomach virus. That's probably good for Michael Pittman Jr. DC ass FFPC Ty Johnson, Marvin Harrison Jr., Juwan Jennings. I got Marvin Harrison Jr. set. You know what? Let's actually make sure all my high stakes lineups are set correctly. All right, so this is the one with Nate. We've got, do we want to play Purdy in this fucking snowstorm? Purdy, Cook, Aaron Jones, Juwan Jennings, Teteroy McMillan, JSN, Trey McBride. God, maybe we do want to play Mariota. Mitchell, Falcons D versus Colts D. Man, that is I don't know the answer to that. What do you guys think, Mariota or Purdy? I'm having a tough time with that one because Purdy's median projection is pretty low. Mariota is probably better. I think I'm gonna do Mariota. There we go. Mariota, James Cook, Aaron Jones, Juwan Jennings, Tet, JSN, and then Aaron Jones versus JCM. Let's swap him with Barkley because Aaron Jones could also be Chris Godwin. Aaron Jones could also be Alec Pierce. GM. All right, Jupiter says Purdy. So these leagues you can't do. There's no first come first serve waivers in these. All right, this is the team with Dave, Josh Allen, Christian McCaffrey, Jonathan Taylor, Khalil Shakir. Don't think we want to start Jennings. You know what? How bad is rolling out a Max Brosmer double in the DK Millie? 1 second, guys. My dog just got in trouble. Not being a good 18-month-old golden retriever puppy. Who could have predicted? Yeah, I think we have to start Keon Coleman here with Josh. The double stack, because what is the point of playing Jennings here? There probably really isn't one. GM. Josh Allen, CMC, JT, Shakir, Coleman, Devonta. Love this team. This team kind of blew it this week. Jacoby, JT, Chris Rodriguez, Jefferson, Jennings. We're going to do, instead of Jennings, we're going to do Jaden Higgins for the weather stuff. I've got one Brosmer team. Jacoby, JT, Rodriguez, Jefferson, Jaden Higgins, George Pickens, Trey McBride, Jalen Waddle, Jaguars, Bills. Wish I would have started Keaton Mitchell. I actually texted Leone about this team. I literally texted him on Thanksgiving and I said, Keaton Mitchell versus Chris Rodriguez. All right, that's NFC set. Let's check FFPC. These should all be set, but we'll see. All right, this is high stakes with Michael. We got Burrow back, JT Gainwell, AJ Brown, fucking Zay Flowers, god damn it. Kittle, Hurts, Pickens. Really wish I could bench Zay Flowers. It's as good as it's gonna get there. This one we're projected to win by a lot here. Yeah, that one looks. Thoughts on Henderson, as in Trevion? He is he's gonna be good, I think. Brosmer Achane versus Stafford Vidal. I think Stafford Vidal. Brosmer is a little bit tougher on FanDuel. What if KOC is still the quarterback whisperer and JJ is the worst quarterback of all time? I'm leaving the doors open to that possibility. Would you sit Justin Jefferson for any or all of these running backs? Vidal, Harvey, Bucker, or Walker? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. I would sit Justin Jefferson for all of them. Tough times. Okay. And then we've got this team: Dart, Achane, Montgomery, Adams, Waddle, Bowers, Tet, Gadsden, Jake Bates, Chargers defense. None of those guys need to start, so I think we're good there. All right. I think we're set for all the high stakes stuff. What do we have for Lawrence? Top Lawrence team: Trevor Lawrence, Ashton Genty, Bijan, Tet, Jacoby, BTJ, Dalton Schultz. I don't want a tight end in the flex. Lawrence, Neal, Bijan, BTJ, Nico. I mean, is that team just it right there? That team is fire. My hot take this week for DFS is the Texans D is the skeleton key. Okay. Classic backup quarterback locks onto Justin Jefferson and feeds him 20 targets. Yeah, but I thought that's what JJ McCarthy was supposed to do. What is that Survivor schedule chart called? It is called Survivor Grid, brother. Here is a link to that in the description. I wouldn't know because I got bounced out of all my pools. Looks like Seattle is the nuts this week. Let's pull up the. You know what? Maybe we just do a Stafford. Stafford, Puka, Adams. We'll do Jaden Higgins. We'll do Gadsden. We'll do Titans. We'll do Genty. We'll do Woody Marks is kind of fun. Yeah, JJ McCarthy was supposed to be that. Stafford double does seem kind of sick. You do Stafford, Puka, Adams. I do like this conceptually. I just don't. You probably have to play a tight end in the flex, and tight end in the flex always feels bad, and until you're Utica, and it just easily works. No, you can't play Tootin. Tootin is like clearly he's like in the last game he was the running back 3. Jones looks like Giants Jones. Yeah, he looked really bad. I've seen him play with lesser injuries than a fibula, and it's not pretty. I don't think I'm going to play any Colby Parkinson. I know why you would, but I don't think I can. I don't think I can get there. I mean, I guess you do Walker on this team. GM, 200K fast puppy winner, Raymond Zanny. So you do Walker here with Genty, and that gets you Gadsden in the flex. Oh, we already have Gadsden. So it would get you nothing. Schultz, maybe. Juwan Johnson. It would be Kyle Pitts. Would I trade all my Drake London for Javonte Williams? Definitely not. Doesn't Javonte look like shit? Maybe I'm making this up. I feel like Javonte has been awful. Javonte Williams, 17 for 59, 20 for 87, 22 for 93, 15 for 83. I don't think so. Maybe. I do. Maybe you give this one up and you do. What if we do instead? We do Trevor Lawrence, Brian Thomas Jr., and then instead of Walker, you do Achane, and then you do Igbuka, maybe Nico, and then it's 6,600. Ooh, you've got ETN for the team. Oh, except you wouldn't want to play the Titans defense against them. Chiefs are still pretty good against the run, though, right? Yeah, they're pretty good against the run. You know what? Maybe this would be a team to play. Devin Neal, actually. Devin Neal. Ooh. And if you played Puka, damn, no, you can't do that. Bryce Young, Panthers week for $1 million. Lawrence, Genty, Achane, Neal. I'd like to get a JSN tournament team is the thing. Maybe, I mean, there's probably no reason to play Gadsden. Lawrence, Genty, Achane, Neal. Let's do Mechie. So we did Mitchell on the other one. Probably, except you don't want to play Taysom and Neal together. Hot take, Audric Estime gets burned for the Saints today. That's crazy, bro. I don't know. I'm having a tough time deciding. These Lawrence teams do look pretty good. But what about Stafford, Puka, Adams? There's really only one, and it has fucking Tajay Spears on it. No, thank you. I do like the concept of a Stafford double, though. All right. I am needed upstairs, boys. I'm going to finalize. I'm going to say this is what I've got in cash. Lawrence, Achane, Neal, Puka, Igbuka, Jaden Higgins, Gadsden, Walker, and the Titans. I might play Taysom Hill. I don't think Kincaid plays. The rain is supposed to be okay. But I'm going to sign off. I got some stuff to go do, family time. Love all you guys. I will see you guys back tonight for the Gilcast. Later, everybody.